Hello, 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 and good evening, friends. Happy Monday. I hope your week has started off great, and I hope you had a great weekend. And let's get started. When you hop on, go ahead and tell me where you're from, where you're viewing from. Say hi. Make sure if you are watching in my group that you tell StreamYard that you want access, and that way you can show up with your name instead of just Facebook user because I want to see who is watching from my group. The Robin's Egg Blue Creations Crafty Collab, if you're watching from in there, just say yes to StreamYard and you'll show up as yourself instead of a Facebook user. So I want to introduce myself. I'm Robin. I'm with Robin's Egg Blue Creations. I'm crafty. I'm a maker. I've always loved paper crafting, scissors, tape, sticky glue, all that kind of stuff. But I'm also an independent designer with Couture. We specialize in reusable silkscreen transfers and lots of yummy chalk paste. So tonight we're going to actually upcycle some journals. I love to upcycle just plain old composition journals. I happen to find this blank sketchbook in my stash. And I don't really like the cover, so we're actually going to try to chalk on some cardstock this evening. I've heard it's possible. I haven't ever tried it, but we're going to experiment. So, like I said, Couture specializes in these sticky back reusable silk screen transfers. So they are sticky, and they do have a silk screen where it looks white to you is actually a silkscreen fabric. And that allows all of those little negative pieces to stay in. If you've ever cut vinyl on a Cricut or a Silhouette to make a sign, you have to weed out all of the little pieces, and I'm inevitably always losing the dot to my eye, or I would lose the dot to this exclamation point. But because it's silkscreen, it's all connected together and you never lose any of those inside pieces. So since this is reusable, I'm going to write on the back up near the top what transfer this is. So I know if I've been using 5 or 6 transfers, I know which backer sheet that this transfer goes on. And they are reusable, like I said before. You can use them about 8 to 12 times depending on how you take care of them. Since we're working on paper this evening, I'm going to put a lot of wax on my surface so that the transfer does not pick up all of the fibers of the paper. So I'm using my Minwax just because it's a little softer, but Couture does carry surface wax, and it is clear. And this one, even though it looks brown, it goes on fairly clear. But it's a little bit more pliable, so I'm going to use it on this paper this evening. Plus, I just have a lot of it, and I need to use it up. So what you do, surfaces like wood, raw wood, painted wood, chalkboards that may not be a specific Couture surface, you usually want to wax those so that your transfer doesn't stick or it doesn't peel up any of those like wood fibers or the paint that you've just put down, or in this case, any of those paper fibers, excuse me. So I'm just going to wax this, and it doesn't hurt the back of the transfer. Usually, the wax doesn't. Sorry if I shake the table. I apologize. Don't forget to say hi when you hop on so I know you're here. Tell me where you're watching from. Tell me what your weather's like. I'm in Kansas. We inevitably always skip spring. So Memorial Day, it was 54 degrees. And this past weekend, it was 90. So that's pretty much Kansas for you. So I'm going to make sure I get most of this waxed. And then I'm going to kind of buff it out a little bit. Again, sorry if I'm shaking the table. Just trying to get that all evened out. Pretty good. So I'm going to lay that to the side, and I'm going to do my smaller pieces over here. Carly, how are you doing after your ankle surgery? I hope you're recuperating well. One of these days, I do hope to get back over to your house and we can do some chalk parties again. That was really fun. I miss you and your mom. But I hope you're doing well after your ankle surgery. Hey, Amanda, how are you doing? I'm going to say hi to my husband because he's probably in the other room watching, but he doesn't ever comment. So hi, Jason. So I'm still just waxing this cardstock so that my transfer doesn't stick. If it does, we'll have to go to plan B, which is grab another surface and start over. Okay. So I'm just going to buff that wax a little bit, even it out with the dry part of my paper towel. I don't know if I waxed that one. I probably did, but I don't remember. So I'm going to put that away. I'm going to let these dry a little bit to the side. So since this is blank, I'm actually going to turn it landscape, and I'll put it on. And so we're going to use this Yay for Today transfer. And I'm going to use Shimmer Shadow. It's a white sparkle paste. And then I'm going to use Buttermilk, which is probably this catalog's Daffodil. I'm going to use Couture Teal, and I'm going to use Peony. And then we'll use Gold and Silver for our next project. So I'm going to put all that there. So I'm going to open my Shimmer Frost. I probably said Shimmer Shadow before, but that's the black. So we're going to use Shimmer Frost. And I am going to bring my fuzzing towel over because I'm going to fuzz this really well. And what this does is because these are super sticky, it lays down a layer of fuzz so it doesn't stick to my surfaces much. If you don't have a fuzzing towel, you can use any terry cloth towel. You can use your shirt. You can use a pillow. I'm going to fuzz it a couple times just to get a little bit more lint on there than I normally would. Do it one more time. I do not want this to stick to the cardstock. Okay. I'm actually going to move that out of my way for right now. So I'm just going to place this on the cardstock. And this is just basic scrapbooking cardstock. I believe it's 65 pounds. There's Mr. Jason. He said howdy. Oops. I think I got something underneath there. Something I didn't want on there. So I'm just going to go around and kind of rub in all of the letters. I don't want any air bubbles where that mesh is. If I have bubbles out here in the teal, it's not terrible, but I definitely don't want any bubbles around that silk screen. So So again, I'm just going to go around. Hello, Thea. How are you? Did you have a good day today, Thea? Tell your mom to put a thumbs up in the comments if you had a good day. Okay. And because I'm usually messy, I'm going to lay down some placement tape on the top of these letters for today because I don't want any of my shimmer frost paste there. And so then I'm just going to take one of these rubber squeegees and I'm going to dip it into my shimmer frost, and it's just like buttering toast. So see, I have some on my squeegee, and I'm just going to lay it down and kind of scrape it across those letters. Oh, if you could only see the glitter. I'm going to put my lid back on. I don't know if you know, I don't know if you can see this teal label. It says new creamy dreamy formula. So this particular tub of paste is the new formula. It's not supposed to dry out as fast. And if you've ever worked with some of my older pastes, you know that they dry up, or you have to work quickly because they'll dry in your silk screen and then pull up the paste. With this one, you don't have to. With the new Dreamy Creamy formula, you don't have to worry about that as much. I'm still a creature of habit, so I'm probably going to peel. Ooh, it's pretty, even though I fuzzed quite a bit and I waxed it, it's still pretty sticky. So I'm just going to peel carefully. Okay. Yeah, that's really sticky still. So I'm just going to lay that gently. I'm just going to tack these corners down. So I released the mesh from the paste so that way the paste can continue to dry without being on the mesh, and then hopefully it won't pull up as bad. I'm going to get in here with this tool and just push that up. Okay, so I'm going to get some of these skinny ones. And what I've done with these squeegees is I've taken one of the larger squeegees and I've just cut them in half so that I have a smaller surface to work with. I'm going to make these letters multicolor. So again, I'm going to use Couture Teal, Peony, and this catalog's version of Daffodil. And see, and this is, I don't know if you can tell the difference. This is the Creamy Dreamy formula, and it's not thick. It's a really good consistency. But this is the old formula, and it's been sitting a while. I hadn't chalked as much as I should have, and it is a little dry. I think it's okay. You want your paste to be kind of a yogurt or sour cream consistency. I'm going to leave it like that. Just, it might work better on paper. So I'm going to take my squeegee and I'm going to put it in the Couture Teal. Not that much. And I'm just going to chalk the T and the Y. What do I want to do? Yep, the T and the Y. I think I may go back in with the shimmer frost and do the exclamation point. I kind of forgot about it. And it'll mess up my color combination if I don't do it light. This is pretty thick. So you want to try to get all those lines evened out and scrape off the excess. So then I'm going to go into the Y. I'm actually going to pick it up a little more. This is pretty thick. Try not to get it in the A. So then I'm going to go into my peony. And my peony is kind of lumpy, but it should still work. I'm going to come in and do my A and hopefully not get it into the Y. Like I said, I'm messy. Oops, I almost put that in the wrong color. Then, the daffodil. Okay, and then I'm going to go back in with my shimmer frost. Oops, I think I'll just use this multi-tool. I have too many choices. This multi-tool is great. It works kind of like a pencil. Okay. Now here's hoping it doesn't stick. Cross your fingers. Say a prayer. Whew. We did it. So I'm just going to let this sit over here. I will wash it in water after I'm done. Let that sit a little bit. I'm going to put my lids on. Yeah, thanks, Carly. I needed that. She was crossing her fingers in the comments. I do have a class coming up on Saturday at 11 o'clock. You can pick your own. It's a pick your own project. You pick your surface, you pick your transfer, you pick your colors, and then you can make your own project. Again, it's at 11 o'clock. And if you go to my Facebook page at Robin's Egg Blue Creations, you can find out more information and you can sign up. I'm just going to hit it a little bit with a hairdryer just to get it dry a little more. The shimmer paste, like the shimmer frost, it does take a little longer to dry than normal paste does. Don't forget to share this video, send me out into the Facebook world, tag your crafty friends. Make sure you smash that heart button. Okay, I'm going to grab these beautifully rare minis. These are, I don't know how big these are. These are about 3 by 3. So these are great transfers because you get 12 on a sheet. And I like to, when you can see that this transfer has lines like this, that denotes where you can cut them apart. So I just like to take my transfer trimmers. These are a non-stick. These have a non-stick surface. So I just like to take my transfer trimmer and I just go up along that cutting line. And then I'll pick this edge up and I'll do the same thing. I want to get this Like a Boss mini. And I want to get this Embrace the Crazy. I think I'll just go ahead and cut them all while I'm at it. Don't we all just need to embrace the crazy a little bit? So these say, beautifully rare, good things takes time, like a boss, coffee first, eat, sleep, and hustle. Why, hello. Don't be like the rest of them. Don't be like the rest of them, darling. Heck yes. Live today in all caps. Pardon my French and trust your journey. Oops, I think I got them all. Need this one. I think that got them all. Okay. So I think I'm going to use Like a Boss. And so these are going to go here. So I think I'm just going to try to put it in the center. Oops, I'm going to fuzz. About forgot. Hi, Regina. You like the eat, sleep, and hustle? I like the sleep part of that one and the eat part. Not necessarily much of a hustler, but I'm kind of a procrastinator, to be honest. Okay, so I was just fuzzing this again, especially because we're using it on paper. I don't want my transfer to stick to the paper or to peel up any of the fibers. And if you hopped on late, I did wax my paper before I chopped on it. That way it just creates a barrier and kind of keeps my transfer from sticking as badly. So again, I'm just going to run my finger where that mesh is. And I'm going to use my gold shimmer and my silver shimmer. And I apologize, my silver shimmer is really dry. You shouldn't have to add water to it, but because I've been such a slacker at chalking, it has just about dried up. Trying to decide. So let's see what kind of consistency it has. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not silky smooth like it should be. It looks more like sand. So no, Carly, I didn't cut the backing. I've started when I used to come over to your house to do parties. You know, we'd always cut the transfers apart, and then I'd end up with a bajillion backer sheets. So I started not cutting the backing. Yeah, it just cuts along the, kind of like when you're cutting fabric or paper and you just run your scissors without chopping. It just cuts through that little cut line without cutting the backer. So my backer is completely intact, but I can pull all of these transfers up individually. In fact, I went back through a lot of my my transfers and actually taped them all back together so that I wouldn't have a bazillion backers all over the place. So here's my gold. It's a little better. It's not as grainy, but it's still pretty. It's thicker than it should be. Carly, you can also, some designers also use an X-Acto knife, but I would cut through the backer sheet, my cutting mat, and my fingers if I tried an X-Acto knife. So the scissors work great. Okay, so I'm going to do probably Like a Boss in silver. And then I think I'm going to do the little crown here in gold, because who doesn't need a gold crown? Oops. So again, you just put your paste in your squeegee in your paste, and it's just like buttering toast. Regina, I noticed that you were on live earlier. I was kind of bummed because I've been missing all of your lives lately, so I've been having to watch the replay, so I'll definitely have to go back and watch that one. I almost hopped on, but I thought, no, I'll get too into it, and then I'll forget to come back to my own. So again, I'm just putting it on like it's butter on toast, and then trying to get all of those little lines out, put my excess back in my jar, and then I'm going to grab a smaller squeegee, which was one of these that I cut. So don't be afraid to cut up your squeegees. So then I'm going to just chalk this gold crown, and then if you wouldn't mind crossing your fingers again that this doesn't stick. Here goes. That one worked. There you go. That one worked really well. It came off really good. I don't know if you can see any of that shimmer. You see any of that sparkle? We'll leave those out. So I'm just going to blow dry this real fast. And again, this shimmer paste, dry a little slower, takes a little longer to get them dried. That's good. So then we'll just grab our other piece of paper that we waxed earlier. And then, okay, I'm going to ask you, which one do you think we should use? Regina mentioned the Eat, Sleep, and Hustle earlier. You could do Don't Be Like the Rest of Them, Darling. Or we could do Embrace the Crazy. Which one do y'all think we should use? Eat, Sleep, Hustle, Don't Be Like the Rest of Them, Darling, or Embrace the Crazy. So we'll do A, B, or C. So I'll let you guys decide. So we'll kind of... Amanda's voting for Embrace the Crazy. Anybody else have a vote? I'll wait a little bit because I know there's a delay. While you're voting, I'll just remind you again that I do have a Pick Your Project class coming up at 11 o'clock on Saturday. Carly votes for B, the Darling transfer. It's at 11 o'clock on Saturday. You can go to my Facebook page, Robin's Egg Glue Creations, and all the sign-up information is there. And I do ask that you do try to sign up ahead of time so that I have a definite number of people that I know are coming. That way I can be fully prepared with supplies and anything that I need to do ahead of time. So we've got one for Darling and one for Crazy. Any other votes? Anybody else have a vote for either B or C or A, Eat, Sleep, Hustle? I need some Jeopardy music. Anybody? Oh, I think since I was going to go with Crazy already, we'll pick that. We'll go with that one unless somebody else votes really quick. Okay, I think we'll just do Embrace the Crazy. Oop, I almost forgot again. These aren't as sticky as the Yay for Today was, but I still don't want them to stick. Okay, so let's embrace the crazy. I think we'll do silver and gold on this one, but I'm going to use the detail tool. It has a really small squeegee end here. I don't know if you can see that. And then on this end, it has a capped end that has a little point or a scraper. So if you can't get under the corners, or if you need to scrape away some chalk paste on like a chalkboard or a piece of glass, it works great. But I'm using the small squeegee end. And I think I'm going to do the words in silver, or the Embrace the Crazy in silver. So it's just like buttering a piece of toast, or in this case, writing with a pencil. And then I'm going to come back in with the gold. I'm going to add the crazy and the little splotches in gold. So here we go. Let's cross our fingers again. Although I think we'll be okay. Let's put that there. So there's our Embrace the Crazy. So I'm going to dry that. Throw my dirty stuff in here. My lids on. There we go. Okay, I'm going to put those aside. Put all my lids back on. And I'm going to grab a wipe and wipe my hands. Okay. So now we're going to do my favorite part, which is the embellishing. Of course, I think we'll glue this on first. So I'm going to put my backer sheet down so that I don't scratch the surface. Then I'm just going to take my glue runner here, hopefully, maybe. I'm just going to add some glue. Trying to get to the edges. But you know, I ran out. Let's see, I'm going to go around my desk and grab some more. I have some wet glue here that we'll use instead. Let's pull that up. So before I add the wet glue, I'm just going to go around and get all the excess adhesive folded under. Otherwise, my wet glue will be dripping all over if I do this last. Okay, so now we'll just add some wet glue to the inside. This is one of my favorite wet glues. It's actually called Fabric Tack, but it works great. I've used it on wood. I use it on paper. Works great. It smells like fingernail polish remover. This is even better. Okay, so I'm gonna flip my notebook to the back. And I'm going to put this under it just so I can see a little better what I'm doing. Try not to put this on upside down. I'm just going to try to get this as evened up as I can with the sides and the front. It's kind of hard. Okay. Let's see. I did pretty good. Okay, so now the fun part. You can't just leave boring spirals. So we're actually gonna make them look really cute. I love to tie little things on my spiral. Ouch, sorry about that. So we're just gonna take a bunch of little strips of this yarn. And I have some sparkly turquoise. I have some variegated. I have pink and I have yellow. So we're just going to take different combinations of that. And I just cut a piece and I double it over. And I haven't quite figured out to skip one. Okay, I think I just figured it out. I was trying to figure out a pattern with even numbers. It's too hard for my brain to figure out. So I'm just tying them on in a knot. And then if they look to, and you'll notice this one has the loopy at the end. I just cut that off. And then I just kind of trim that one up. So there's one little loop. So then we'll go in with this variegated. And I usually do 2 per ring. So again, and with these double wires like this, I usually just go into 1. Because if you tie it around both of them, it'll cinch both of those together, and then it makes your page a little wonky to turn. So again, I'm just trimming off that loop and trimming those up. So then we'll go in with, let's just take those off. We'll go in with some yellow. And again, I'm just doubling it over. And I'm actually going to skip 2 So I'll go into this one. And I'm just tying it in a little knot. And again, I'm going to take off this bow or this loopy end. I'm just going to trim them up. And if they fray, that just makes them look even better, I think. So then we'll go in with the pink. Again, loop it over. And this one's a sparkly pink. One of my favorites. And if you like yarn, there's a 2-letter craft store that has yarn at 30% off this week. I'm addicted to yarn, but I don't use it for knitting or crocheting. I use it for stuff like this. And I use it on all of my packaging for my products. So then we have those two. So then I'm going to go back in with the, and it doesn't, as far as the yarn, I don't usually have a pattern. Here it is. So we'll go in with the variegated again. And this time we're going to do 2 in a row. Ooh, cut that one a little short. So what did everyone do this past weekend? Did you go to the lake? Did you go on vacation? Any big plans you had this past weekend? I know Miss Amanda had a birthday. So she went out she had a birthday date. She probably had a birthday day, but well, Carly, you're probably home with your ankle, so. But if you're watching the replay, tell me what you did over the weekend. Okay, so I'm going to start on this other end. And I did kind of this side. I did this side on the inside of the spiral. And on this side, I'm going to do the inside of the spiral. So this one was the left side. This one will be on the right side. I hope that makes sense. I'm going to start on the other side so I don't get confused. So again, a double strand. And I'm actually going to flip it over. So I like to upcycle. I make little spiral journal notebooks for sticky notes. I've made little index card notebooks. I've made I think I lied. I do patterns. Little 3x5 removable notepad spiral journals. So, again, my first love was paper, so anything that has to do with paper. So then we'll go in with yellow. And we'll skip 2 and go to this next spiral. And I'm not really concerned about waste. There's so much yarn here that I'll never use. Oops, slipped. couple more and then we'll be finished, I promise. So then we'll go back in with the mint. We'll do this one. And we'll do the variegated. So then we're gonna skip 2 and then we'll, is that gonna work? Skip 2. Oh, I skipped 3. Whoops. Boo-booed. I'll just take this one off. Didn't follow my own pattern. Okay. I'll just redo that one real quick. Is anybody taking a vacation this summer? And if you are, tell me where you're going to go. Our big goal is to get out of debt this summer. We just paid off our car that we bought in November. And then my student loan is finally, hopefully, going bye-bye in July or August. And so then we're going to save up. So that's our vacation. Then we're going to save up and take a trip once we get all out of debt. We're excited. Okay. So then we'll do these last 2. That'll work good. Okay. I'll do this one. My boo-boo actually worked out in my favor, which rarely happens. A little piece of variegated. So I'm going to turn it back over, and then we'll do our last spiral. Oops. That one. Okay, our last yarn. Thanks for enduring with me. Our last one down. And there you go. Oops. there's our cute little notebook. Yay for today. Oops. Again, thanks for watching with me, joining in with me today live. If you're watching the replay, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, you can put those in the comments, and I will get to those after the live. Hope everyone has a great evening, and I hope to be live again on Wednesday. Just be checking my Facebook page, my group page, or my YouTube channel, and I'll have a post up about what time and what date I'm going to go live and a sneak peek at the project. So again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later this week. Thank you.